apply, analyze, appropriate, accelerate. Whether you do the dance, whether you do it in your head, whether you simply follow along in terms of the 7A's, it's a way in which you can start to remember that, so that whenever you're in a process where you're doing the metastates pattern, whichever pattern you're doing, you'll know exactly where you are in the process. And so as we take this and move forward, with the rest of the program, we're going to be doing, a few different patterns, belief change, timeline, those kinds of patterns. Just take a note of where you are in the 7A's and, how that runs through each of the different patterns. Good. So Joseph's going to be doing a demo. If he's still here. You still here, Joseph?
Yep.
Cool.
Set it up then, Maxi.
All right, so we'll go through the metastates pattern. It's quite similar to the anchoring, slightly different. So who would like to volunteer themselves for a demo? Where this would be really valuable is if you're experiencing an unresourceful state in a particular context and you'd like to experience something different. That might be when it comes to playing sport, it might be when it comes to relationship, it might be, public speaking, it might be with your partner, it might be with your kids. Wherever you're experiencing an unresourceful state in a particular context, and you'd like to have access to more resources for yourself.
It's Maria here. I experience a lot of stress as soon as there's too much on my plate, and instead of staying calm, I just kind of block and I get very emotional very quickly, and I deal with stress not very well. It doesn't motivate me.
Okay, and when you say emotional, what emotion?
Like emotional in terms of like kind of panic, start crying, not knowing what to do, blacking out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you say too much on your plate, what does that mean?
That means that I feel that too many people are asking something from me, or I'm asking too much from myself simultaneously.
Okay. And so is this in relationship to doing something? Is it in relation to work, or is it in relation to simply being asked to do things?
Mostly in relation to like studies previously and lately during work and different projects. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what would be a resource state that you would like instead?
Being calm, having the overview.
Okay.
Relax, trust, knowing that it's going to be okay.
Okay. Yep. So a couple different resources there. Cool. Thank you, Maria. Two more.
Lawrence here.
Right.
Yeah, I've noticed my default in a situation where I'm not necessarily like in favor of what's happening, instead of addressing that with somebody else involved, I'll make up a story in my mind and internalize everything. So it feels like I just make a lot of assumptions and tell myself a lot of stories, as opposed to actually, just feel a bit like just having the balls to say what I'm thinking to someone else, or
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so, what's the present state? Is it?
It's kind of, it feels like scarcity, or like just not feeling confident to like make myself heard. I'm not sure how I would describe that as.
Okay. Is it fear?
Fear is there.
Okay. And so it's fear in the face of, you know, saying what you want and expressing what you want to someone. And the resource state, as you said, is having the balls to do that. What's the resource state that would enable you to have the balls to speak up?
Something along the lines of like feeling like what I have to say is valuable, or seeing how it's going to be a benefit for me to do that as opposed to stay quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, I'm sure of exactly what the label would be, but
Okay.
yeah, that would be the feeling.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Lawrence. One more.
Yep, I'll go next. It's Jackie.
Jackie?
Everyone might have some fun with this one, but I feel a sense of hopelessness with online dating or app dating.
Okay. And what would be the resource state that you'd want instead when it comes to online dating?
Probably a sense of hope, or I'd like to be able to, I guess I feel frustration as well. So the resource state would be, I don't know, calm or hope. I think hope is the word that comes to me. So.
Okay. Sense of hope when it comes to online dating. Joseph?
I don't mind, buddy. You choose. We'll go with whoever you think.
Oh yeah, we'll go with Jackie then. And then, okay. So yep, over to you.
We're going with Jackie.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Let's get a hold of her. Where is she? There she is.
I've got
Hey,
some nice
Jackie.
trees in the background.
Say that again.
I've got some nice trees in the background for everyone.
Well, thanks for that.
That was just to help you identify me.
Okay. Yeah. It just says your name on the screen here, but it's all good. Thanks. I'll just recognize you by the trees.
Okay.
Good. How are you feeling right now?
Heart racing a little bit, because it's kind of an embarrassing thing to talk about. Not really, but it feels a bit like it is.
Yeah. You do over responsibility as a meta program, right? That's like a core one of yours, is it?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Right. So you've done that 3 times so far. We haven't started yet. So just notice for yourself, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're okay. You've got this and I've got this. It's easy. Okay. If you bring that to online dating, I can promise you it's just going to be really frustrating being over responsible for their experience.
Yes.
They'll run. There's a really old adage and it says anything that you chase will always run from you. Over responsibility is chasing.
Yes. Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
I know, right? Good. Let's get into it. Are you ready? So do you have a one-time event on online dating that you can remember that's recent, Jackie, that where it's not working for you, where your state's not working for you?
Yeah.
Okay. How long ago was the event, the situation?
A few nights ago.
Okay. So quite recent.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing now, and we're just in the first step of just getting awareness of what is it we're working with. Okay. Mm-hmm. So a few nights ago, you were on an online dating site event. And then what was the state experience that you were having that's not working for you when you're doing those things?
I don't know if I have one word for it, but it's this pouring of time and energy for no return, chatting with a lot of different people and nothing becoming of it. Yeah.
So I can hear, and I'll just project the words in, I can hear the frame of reference that this is really a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be an okay general kind of frame? You're not getting anything from it. It's kind of a way. Would you say it seems like a waste of time to you?
Yeah, futile is the word I would use.
Futile. Okay, so it's futile. Okay. And then what is the feelings that come with that sense of it being futile and a waste of time?
Frustration,
Is that true? I know you said it before, but just check again. Is it when you're getting a sense this is futile? What's the energy, the emotion that's coming up with that?
Probably sadness as well.
Right, yeah, that seemed a bit clearer. So there's some sadness coming up. Is the sadness coming up during the event or post the event, Jackie?
Post the event, mostly.
Okay. What do you want to work on? Do you want to work on your experience during the event or post the event in terms of being more resourced?
I think post the event would be more helpful.
Okay, so there's some sadness after you've done the online dating thing that seems futile.
Yes.
And then sadness comes up.
Yes.
0 through 10, how much do you sense the sadness is after the event, like right after when you feel sad?
It's an 8.
Okay, so it's quite a strong depth of feeling sad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it consistent? Like after each event, it's become quite consistent that you're sad.
Yeah, it's between, you know, a 7 and an 8 most times, depending on the interaction I've had with.
Yeah.
Someone.
Do you metastate the sadness with anything? What do you bring to it? Because we know it's a primary state, right? It's directly feeling sad about the event. Do you metastate it, or do you just stay in the primary state?
No, I usually metastate. I go into wondering what's wrong with me, what's wrong with men.
That was the imagining. Can I just make an offer? Stop that. Just enjoy being sad. It's just fine to be sad. It's a normal human experience to have. The metastating stuff is just getting you into a mess.
Yeah.
So be sad. Find a really nice glass of red or white, whatever it is, and fill, recycle the wine with your tears. That's fine. But the metastating is probably unhealthy for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what state would you prefer to have that's ecological for you, right? That's not out of alignment, but it's going to be more valuable and useful for you post the online dating event? How would you like to feel? What state would you prefer to be in that's going to be more useful for you for your life?
Just calm, really.
Okay, is that true? Imagine you've been on an online event. You think it's a waste of time, it's futile again, and you finish the event and you just want to be calm. Is that what you want?
I just want to be accepting, actually, that's one avenue to meet people. It's not.
Right. So you would like to just be in a state of acceptance about however the event goes.
Yes.
Good. That seems more true for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the online dating, the futility of it, and the sadness quite strong after each of these events. I'd just like you now to take that event, the online dating and the sadness afterwards, and just move it to one side, just so we can come back to it, Jackie. I know it seems a bit odd. Just move the movie to one side. That's the way, in the grass there. Well done. Now we're gonna facilitate now, and we're gonna start to access a state of acceptance for you. Okay, and so have you ever been in the state where you know you've been able to be accepting of stuff previously in your life?
Yeah.
Have you got an event when you were accepting of something? What were you accepting about?
The one that came to mind was a breakup that I didn't really get closure over, but I came to acceptance myself.
Okay. Did you see your hands came up then? There's just a little flicker of hands come up. Just do that again. Is that how you start to bring acceptance to something? Does that feel like just accept it? You know, it's is that your demonstration of your acceptance as an expression? I didn't get closure on it, but
subconsciously it must be. Yeah, I just did it again. So
yeah. So there's just this kind of 2 turns of your hands. Just do that. And I know it feels a little bit odd, but just notice this is acceptance. Yeah. Now see if you can do that and just bring acceptance to the fact that that's just your acceptance. This is my acceptance. Look, this is how I do it. People do it differently. This is mine, and just accept that. Yeah. You can can you feel just acceptance as that's a power of yours? You can just wave your acceptance around.
Yeah, yeah, it feels good.
Your voice has changed. Did you notice slightly? There's a bit of a higher tone in there.
Yes. I
What's
do.
happening?
I imagine myself dropping the intensity of the emotion that I associate with online dating. Just
I know you're doing the work already, right? There's just no point in me sitting here, really.
in.
But I can accept that, right? It's no worries. It's all good. It's all part of the process. So how much power of acceptance as a state do you have when you do this with your hands? When you just bring this acceptance, it's 2 circles of acceptance. Do it, Jackie, now.
Yeah,
Acceptance.
it's good. It's a good 8. It's definitely an 8.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's funny when before you ask me to do it, I don't think it's that strong, and the minute I do it, it's an 8. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, because it's a core primary state of yours, it's embodied. It's not cognitive understanding. You know what it is, but the actual expression's embodied.
Right.
Your acceptance. Okay? So we're just going to do this real easy. Just grab that online dating where you put it down in the grass behind you. Looks like the grass to us. Yeah?
Yeah.
Bring it across in front of you. And I'm just going to play the movie for you while you play it in your mind. Just rest it on your lap so you've got your hands free. Okay? And just notice the movie. That you keep going on this online dating thing and it seems futile and it's frustrating. And after the event, you feel really sad. And then you question that your identity, your worth, what's the matter with you? Why is this not working the way you expect it to work?
Mm-hmm.
And you got that movie going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just want you to look at that movie with your awareness. And I would like you just to bring the power of your acceptance. Just access your acceptance and bring it to that situation that it's just went exactly the same again. It seems really futile. It doesn't seem to be working. And you just accept that's just one of the mediums of getting dating going. So don't conceptually do it, Jackie. Actually bring that acceptance to that situation right now.
Okay.
As you bring acceptance to the fact that that's a way of dating, it goes the way that it's going, it works or it doesn't work. How is that acceptance, as you apply that to this situation, transforming things for you? Just acceptance.
Yeah, I have to do it quite a number of times.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If I think about the moment, I get a sinking feeling. And when I do that, I kind of rise up out of it.
Okay. So you're bringing that acceptance to that situation. Yeah.
Yes.
How is that shifting for you? How is that working for you? What's the quality of that in terms of you having a different experience post dating online?
In terms of how I would be next time I do it?
Well, in terms of how it is now when you run that power of acceptance after you've watched a movie in your mind of done online dating, which again seems futile. You just bring acceptance to that futility, to that process.
I feel, a sense of freedom and that I've got some energy freed up to do other things. Yeah.
Right. So fully play a movie in your mind. Your online dating goes the same way it's been going, seems kind of futile. You come out the other end and
I'm fine.
And
I have energy for other things and I feel free and I feel like a weight's lifted.
Right. If a weight's lifted, how are you feeling?
Lighter.
Right. Really? Lighter. Yeah. So is this something that really will serve you as a resource in this situation? Part of you, knows why I haven't been back on and done the online dating, but you see the sadness comes from the interior, not the actual exterior. There's a strategy in the movie that you're running. And now, as you can bring acceptance post that event, and there's a lightness in that for you. Does that seem appropriate for you in terms of giving that a go next time?
Yeah, it seems weird to think of me going like this, but
right.
Yes, it does seem appropriate.
Okay. Would you like to keep this power of yours, or you want to leave it here in this training room?
No, I need to keep it. I want to keep it.
You need to keep it. Okay, you'll take this with you?
Yes.
So just set this power. I have the power of acceptance on life, on reality, and on shitty online futile dating systems. And I'm all good.
Yeah.
All good?
Thank you. Thanks.
Goodness. Okay, Maxi, you want to do a quick debrief, or are we going into session? Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
So just a quick one. Did you notice as Joseph was taking Jackie through that process, did you capture the 7 A's where we were in the process? Yes, or did you get caught in the content? Anyone get caught in the content? Good job. Yeah, well done, Jackie. So now's the time to ask any questions on the process before we jump into the activities.
Just an observation, really, that there was a lot of time invested in really getting an understanding of the awareness of the present state, or the state that is not desired, and that was really important. And then the desired state was pretty quick in this instance to establish. And then as soon as it was almost like bang, we've really got an understanding of the present state, get the desired state, and then going into the accessing stage.
Right.
That was just something I noticed.
Yep. And so that would be pretty normal in terms of spending most of the time in a coaching conversation on the awareness of what it is your client actually wants. And once that's really clear, then moving through the process is quite simple.
Max, was that part of the the highest frame runs the game?
Yeah.
Is that
That's
part
right.
similar, because he was trying to find exactly what that awareness state was?
That's right. Yeah. And so what we're doing with this metastating process is applying a new resource as the higher frame to bear upon the previous thinking and feeling, so that it coalesces, so that it shifts and transforms the state and the experience. So good catch. Any others? One
Max,
more?
yeah, I'm confused about something.
Yep.
With regards
Just the
to
one thing.
when you get to the point where you are asking, like, the meta state isn't that thinking and feeling isn't serving you, like that sandwich eating thinking and feeling on your physiology isn't serving you, so just stop doing that. Is there times when that is serving you, like that thinking is serving you? And for me, what I'm going to is like the program that I run of judgment, which helps me to consider certain circumstances. When are you saying that it's not good, and when is it good to be thinking?
So does it serve you in all contexts? Does it serve you in a particular context? Does it serve you in the context that you're talking about? And then you might go, yes, there's some value in judgment, but overall it doesn't quite serve me in this context. And so what I would like instead is compassion, for example.
Okay, so it's only when the thinking and feeling isn't serving you that you're telling people to stop doing it.
Right. And if it is serving you, then continue doing it.
It's fine. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Max, I have a question.
Yep.
Could you explain? I don't get the difference between the 7A and the anchoring process we've seen last time. Could you explain again the difference?
So the anchoring process follows the metastates pattern. It's, these are the 7 steps to the anchoring process. This is also the 7 steps to changing time in terms of timeline. This is the 7 steps in order to change a belief. And so this is, as we mentioned, the NLP pattern behind all NLP patterns. And so if you understand how this particular pattern works, then the rest become quite simple.
Okay, so anchoring is just a subset of applying this pattern. Okay, then. Thank you.
So just to use a metaphor, the metastates pattern is like a body, and all the different patterns are different clothes that we can dress over the body, but they are always based on having a body to dress. So we'll dress in wet weather for difficult situations, we'll dress in shorts for sunny, so we'll bring different qualities to the pattern, but it's always the same pattern. The way to really learn metastates pattern is to try and do the change work and miss one of the steps. Intentionally miss one of the steps, and you learn really fast how this is just a waste of time, and energy, and it's pretty ineffective if one of the steps is missing. So imagine, for example, being aware of a situation, aware of the resource event, but then not energizing and amplifying it, and then trying to apply the understanding of acceptance to the situation without the energy being amplified. It's not actually going to shift anything because it's all conceptual, whereas her skills in her body, or even accelerating at the end, if you don't help the client future pace that they'll do it sometime, then it just becomes a nice conversation where they could do it, but they actually don't remember to.
Joe, can I ask a question?
I'm sure you can.
So there was no trigger for her to like clench her fist to access that.
Yeah, so we weren't doing an anchoring process. This was a change process based on simply metastating and using the pattern of metastate. So this wasn't anchoring at all. Although we were bringing a resource state of acceptance, it was already anchored in her hands already.
Okay.
So we're bringing that existing resource that's embodied in the hands to that post-dating situation.
Cool, thank you.
So it's a good point. One of the things that we want to note is we don't have to do a lot of work. A lot of the time, the client's already got the resource already built into them. It's just getting them to apply that resource in a particular way to the situation differently.
So in that context, if the anchor hadn't naturally been there, would have you anchored something in?
So yes and no, and the no part is the person will only ever really want a resource they've already got.
Okay.
Or the presupposition in the meta coaching system is the client's always got the resources. It's just a matter of accessing and sequencing it.
Can I ask another question? Sorry.
Say that again.
Can I ask another question?
I don't know if you can or not.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
And also I noticed that with this one, you didn't break state and then introduce it again.
Right. Again, because she's already got the resource available to her. The important part in this is to get the initial event, the initial situation out in front and then move that and bring that back in. Yeah.
Okay.
So on which moment would you choose the specific anchoring technique, and on which moment would you access the 7 A's?
Well, so it's always the 7 A's, but it just depends whether you're creating an anchor for the person so they can access it, or simply using the resource the person's already got that's anchored in their expressions and their psychology already.
Yeah, so it's judgment on the moment itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. So let's jump into the breakout rooms. We'll go in pairs. We'll go about 12 minutes each way. It'll give us a little bit of time to have a bit of a debrief at the end to see if you've got any questions and see how things go. So we'll go 12 minutes each, or roughly about half an hour, and we'll come back into the room. So Adam, in pairs, please.